Prince Harry's invisible crown is slipping, the Invisible Games speech disaster. Prince Harry had one job, one stage, one moment to remind the world why he founded the Invictus Games. And yet, in what should have been a triumphant return to his military roots, the Duke of Sussex delivered a speech so lackluster, so unfocused, that it sent shockwaves across the Invictus community. What was meant to be an inspiring address for wounded veterans at the 2025 Invictus Games opening ceremony in Vancouver turned into an absolute PR nightmare. A speech hyped for weeks, one that should have been a rallying cry for perseverance, for resilience, was instead described as incoherent, rushed, and awkwardly unprepared. The audience? Silent. Not out of admiration, but out of sheer confusion. Some veterans in attendance were seen scrolling through their phones, others shifting uncomfortably in their seats. A few exchanged puzzled glances, as if wondering whether Harry had lost the script, literally. And then came the inevitable, the ridicule, the public dissection, the brutal backlash. The fall from greatness, a speech without substance. From the moment Harry took the stage, it was clear something was off. Gone was the confident, passionate veteran who had once electrified audiences with his heartfelt connection to the military community. Instead, what unfolded was a speech devoid of depth, scattered with vague platitudes, and delivered with an unsettling hesitancy. Rather than igniting the spirit of the wounded warriors before him, his words meandered in meaningless circles. There was no powerful tribute to their sacrifice. No galvanizing call to action. No memorable moments of solidarity. It was as if he was grasping for something, anything, to say, yet nothing truly landed. Critics were swift to point out how different this was from his previous Invictus speeches. In 2014, Harry's words were personal, heartfelt, and anchored in his own military experience. In 2018, his speech had been a beacon of camaraderie. But in 2025? It was as if he had lost touch with the very cause he once championed. The real gut punch? His speech failed to even mention key veteran issues, PTSD support, recovery programs, or the ongoing struggles of injured service members. It was as if the veterans standing before him were just props in yet another attempt to maintain relevance. The Norton massacre. Harry becomes a joke. But if Harry thought his disastrous delivery would be quickly forgotten, he was sorely mistaken. Enter Norton. The talk show host wasted no time in tearing apart Harry's speech in front of a roaring studio audience. In a now-viral segment, Norton played clips of Harry stumbling over his words, pausing awkwardly, and struggling to land a coherent point. I mean, does he even know what he's trying to say? Norton quipped, sending the crowd into fits of laughter. And then came the final blow. Norton, mimicking Harry's vague delivery, mockingly recited a nonsensical speech of his own, packed with buzzwords and empty encouragements. The clip exploded across social media, with people calling it the best takedown of the year. Twitter erupted. What did I just watch? This man has no idea what he's talking about. This is painful. It's like a school presentation that was written 5 minutes before class. How did we go from 2014 Harry to this? The hashtag invisible speech began trending, a cruel play on words mocking both the Invictus Games and Harry's apparent inability to deliver a speech with impact. The intentions question, PR stunt or genuine support? And so the floodgates opened. Suddenly, people weren't just questioning his delivery, they were questioning his intentions. Was Prince Harry truly invested in supporting wounded veterans anymore? Or was he simply using the Invictus Games as another PR stunt to maintain what's left of his public image? Some veterans expressed their disappointment openly, with one stating, "This isn't the Harry we once respected." That speech felt like a contractual obligation, not a message from the heart. Others pointed out that while his previous speeches had drawn from his own military experience, this time he seemed disconnected, as if he had forgotten what the games were truly about. And it wasn't just the veterans speaking out. Several analysts debated on live television whether Harry still had the credibility to be the face of Invictus. Some argued that his increasingly Hollywood-like lifestyle had pulled him too far away from the military community he once vowed to support. One brutal headline from a UK tabloid read, Prince Harry's speech fails to land. Has he lost his leadership? It was no longer just about a single speech. It was about Harry's dwindling credibility. The fall from Invictus glory. For years, the Invictus Games were a cornerstone of Prince Harry's public identity. The one thing that remained untarnished even as his royal connections faded. But this speech? It marked a turning point. It wasn't just a failure. It was proof that Harry's grip on his own legacy is slipping. The veterans he once inspired? Now questioning his authenticity. The audiences who once cheered? Now scrolling through their phones. The media who once praised his leadership? Now dissecting his failures. And the final nail in the coffin? The brutal comparison between this speech and his powerful past ones. In 2014, he had stood as a respected veteran-turned-leader, a man whose words carried weight. In 2025, he stood as a man struggling to reclaim relevance. So the question remains, what happens next? Can Harry recover from this humiliation? Or has the world finally stopped listening?